Welcome, my Zentangle friends. My name is Emmy, and I'm real excited to be here with you today on the last session of March. I have such a fun pattern to do with you today. Yes, I know you're chuckling because I do say that every time, but still, it's always true. The ones that I find and I care to share with you are really exciting to me. So I've got my usual supplies, everything that you might need. I am including an eraser today. I like gum erasers, so I'm including that. And I also may need my tiny eraser, my Mono Zero. We'll see. But anyway, I'm keeping it handy. So you might also grab a charcoal white if you have it. So let's get started. The paper I'm using is just a nice paper, nice weight, and it is, I wanted to use a 4x4, so this is not Zentangle paper, it's mixed media paper. I want to show you two versions of where we're going today. Isn't this lovely? This is a sign of spring for sure. So I'm making this fun. A couple of these don't actually have names, so you just have to work with me on that. I did this in color for you also, just to give you an idea of what it could look like. I just think it's lovely. So let's get started. I want to set up our paper, our smallish tile with pencil to begin with. And I want to set that up with a string that's kind of in the middle because I want this to have an illusion of being on an angle. So, but I don't want it to be too wide. So I'm going to use my pencil and put a long C, a curved C from side to side. And I'm going to do one on the other side too. I'm going to do a curved C. Again, not too wide from here to here, although pencil is always made to be changed, so have faith. So the first pattern we're going to do, that I'm going to show you how to do, is called Rosenwald, I think. And I'd rather show you on a blank side. Now, you might or might not run into trouble with this, so just take your time. I think that this, to me, is kind of an egg shape. And again, pencil, you can't get this wrong. So when I've got this done in pencil, I am going to switch over to my 01. And I'm going to cut the top off like this with a big curvy C. And then the next thing I'm going to do is kind of not from the middle, but kind of from the side. It's as much for interest as anything else. I'm going to make a long S shape. I want this top, remember we're making something that looks like a rose here. So I want the rose to be wider here and thinner there. So I'm going to keep that in mind. See, I'm going to come along like this, but I want this to be thinner here. Let me show you. It's easier just to show you. I'm going to start here, come long, round, wide, and finish it off with whatever version of a rose top that you might want. So that is pretty much the pattern. Now, any of these are fine. I just thought they were all lovely. So don't worry about your shaping if it isn't quite exactly what you had in mind. And it's made to be changed, obviously. So let's get started with this sweet pattern. Alrighty, so I want to do layout in pencil. So grabbing my pencil again, and I'm trying to think in terms of this being a rose that is laying on this, either it's a mat or it could be, if you want to think of it this way, it could be like a boutonniere type thing. So I'm going to make a fairly large, longish egg shape again. Hope you can see that. And then I'm going to make another one, and I want that to come off like this. So again, it's the same egg shape coming from the bottom off. And it's going to be different every time you do it. Please know this. Now, where do you want your third one? Your third one could come off here, or your third one could nestle in here. Your choice. This time I decided I'd rather have the leaf in here. It's a smallish area, and so this one's going to overlap and even go on maybe even more of an angle than the first two. So it's going to nestle behind those. See how I've got that nestling behind, and then I'm going to cut it off so that go behind is working for me here. If this bothers you, erase it right away. And I think I will too. It bothers me too. So I'm going to get rid of it too, because that is definitely the go behind. There will be more erasing, I expect. But alrighty, now that I've got that, I want to do two things at once, right? The first thing I want to do is make that longish. It's kind of the way it's cut off makes me think of a toenail or something. It's a C shape. And then I'm going to start here, come round and round and off like that. I'm happy with this, so I'm going to come around here like that, and off of here, this corner, I'm going to do that big lazy S. And if I'm happy with this, I can go ahead and finish it right now. Pretty little rosebud, isn't it? Now you might say yours looks weird and wonky, but just wait. For one thing, it's in the eye of the beholder, and for another thing, it'll look different as you proceed. So let's finish these two off. I'm gonna make a smile there, or a big C, whatever you choose to call it. Come around. Remember, I want this to be on an angle, best I can. Close off the top. When I get to here, I'm going to come down with that lazy S again. Sweet. And this is going behind. And this is as well. I kind of would like those to be a little smaller on the bottom, but really, truly, when you get all the leaves and things in here, you're not going to notice. So let's do the third one. I don't know why things always go in threes, but they typically do in my world. Do the same as you did the other two times. Close off that top. When you get to this point is when you're going to do the lazy S. And then finish. And this is where you can change your shape quite a lot. And that's coming under here. Oh, sweet. I hope you like yours as well as I like mine. It turned out really, really nice. So the next part of my layout is my leaves. And remember, your leaves are, they're going to come behind whatever version of this you want. This in layout, this will be the last thing that we put on. So don't be worried about that a bit. It's going to be really cool. So you might do your leaves in pencil, or you might just have faith in yourself. I'm going to do my leaves on the job and show you how this goes. I think, in my opinion, these kinds of leaves should have a bit of a point on them. They're a version of a rose leaf. I'm going to come along in the middle of the leaf with a big substantial vein. And then this is a sawtooth pattern. Now, I don't know if anybody has named this or not. So I've seen it different times and places. Just a sawtooth down each side. As soon as you have that, go back and darken it. It'll look better to you when you do. And create a little more of a point at this point if you want for your sawtooth. And then let's add some veins in here. I like to darken the center as I go with my pen. Remember, there's no perfect work here. It's just all learning and fun. You're just having fun, aren't we? Okay, I think that I need to have some leaves down here too. So I'm going to make some leaves that come off of each side, like I did with my other pattern, or my other example that I showed you. Of course, they can be some different sizes, you know. They don't all have to be super duper big. Come along here with that leaf and that serrated kind. I think it's an easy way to make a serrated leaf, I think, just to do this. If you ever have time to post what you do, what we've done together on Facebook on one of your sites, your Zentangle sites, or Zen with Emmy, gee, I'd sure love to see it. I've yet to see anybody's work. I've been posting for a year. But I know that people enjoy it, and that is really the point, isn't it? Gosh, that serrated looks so cool. Okay, by thickening the middle of this vein, each time it really changes it up. Okay, I think we need another leaf or two. Let's make one in the middle. It is a natural thing to me to make an S curve. This time the center vein. Since this is not a bona fide pattern that I'm aware of, feel free to change it up to your own heart's content. This also is one that you might feel you want to add color to. If I was to do it again, maybe I will for you, I would do blue roses next time. I tell you that. I think that would be just pretty for spring. I love blue roses. Alrighty. Finish that vein. And the third one on your own, and I will meet you at the end. Alrighty, how pretty is this? It's just the sweetest pattern. So if you should choose to add more any other spot, but let's go ahead now and get our little band underneath here. Remember, it ends up looking like this. Now this one I made for you, I think that's too wide, but it's up to you. It's your call, it's your paper. And this one, as you can see, is quite a bit narrower. And I really like that look better. So it has the illusion of coming thin and wide out, which gives these roses an idea that they're laying on here a little more. So actually, before I get going on this part, I need to get a few of the fescue and a few of that baby's breath that I had so much fun with in. So kind of watch what I'm going to do here. The babies, or the fescue, I think you got this. It's just a line like this with a top notch on it. And then if you put a little curly Q, I think that looks real sweet. Finishes it off real nice. Baby's breath is kind of like this. It's a stick with some other sticks. You remember how baby's breath can have sticks that go wonky ways? And then you just put a series of dots around. And florists, which we are today of sorts, would put these flower picks anywhere, wouldn't they? And then the same with the baby's breath. This time I'll have it come this way, sticks out, and then just add a series of dot, dot, dots, stippling a bit, I believe it's called. You can add more if you want. Let's do it again. Take the corner out of that. Looks so much nicer if you do. Should have done that right along here. And then the baby's breath. Dot, dot. think it's so sweet. Okay, and maybe we'd have some more out here from alongside. I don't know. I think that would look cute, sweet, very springy. And cut that corner off like I did on the others, and then get some baby's breath. Okay, now it's time to get going on that back pattern. And I think that I feel real good about just going ahead. I'm going to go behind. I already laid a pencil line on here. And then this one is going to come off of here. Different every time, that's for sure. I'm going to do a second line to it right away. That's going to be my bead line. And then I'm going to come down to the other end, eyeball where I think it would go through and then come out. And again, that line is a little bit different than it was last time. Here we go. Come out. And just on a curve, however you choose to make it. And that bead line. Now this is all, back up a little so you can see the whole shebang. Isn't it pretty? Okay, so I want to make a line that goes imaginary right down the middle. But I am going to do it so I can see it. I'm going to do it in pen. Right down the middle. And out the other side. And then I'm going to do one on each side. Might have to follow the curve a little bit and pretend it comes out the other side. Very sweet. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to do a series of barrels. I thought that looked so cute. So, and you can see what I've done. It's a very simple pattern, although I don't know a name for it. It's just one of those things that I kind of saw along the way. Now, the barrel might have a bit of a curve to it. I think that would be most interesting if it did. So you're just going to do, let me get closer again now for you. Get closer. Get your barrels on. And then either go up or go down. Adding barrels. Equal distance apart is the best, I think. And I've got one more, and the rest are kind of imaginary going behind. I'm going to flip around. It's up to you if you want this to go the same direction or if you want it to be like, you know, if it was tied behind here. For interest's sake, you might want the barrels to go the same direction or the opposite direction. I don't know. Your call, okay? You decide. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to take a minute and get those little beads, because I think that anytime you have ribbon or something like this on a nice quality piece, you'd have little beads on the edges. So I'm going to add these on all 4 of these regions. So you go ahead and get yours the way you want, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, I hope you like yours as well as I like mine. We're ready to put our design on this fun thing we did on each end, and it is an alternating point. So I'm going to start anywhere, and I might end up putting a little sparkle in it like this. But I don't know, these are small regions. I didn't do it on the other one, and I quite liked it just as well. Your call. I would suggest though that you work real feather light with these. And again, I think you got the hang of it, so I will meet you at the end when we've got all of these alternating patterns connected. That's it. Didn't that turn out sweet? I just can't believe how pretty it is. It is just sweet. So we are ready to put some border on before we do our shading, and the border I chose to use is Yolo. Yolo is a real easy pattern. Goes like this. Just put a wavy line down, and then periodically we're going to take a little branch off of it with a curved line, and in this curve we do two things. One is we cut that off. Let me get closer for you. There we go. Okay, cut that off, and then we put a couple of these cute little leaves in here. I'll tell you, I'm in love with this pattern. So anytime you get that curve, that's where you will take a spot and put a curvy line in, and then use that space to put 1, 2, or maybe even 3 leaves. And that's just that simple. So cute. So I want to do like I did here. Whoops, back out again. Sorry. There. Okay, I want to do some dots around, and I want to do in 2 of the corners, I want to put that Yolo pattern. So the way I'm going to do that is like I said, I want to fill this up, and I'll start by doing the curvy, wavy line. That makes the most sense to me. And then I'll add the Yolo to it. So where I have a curve that makes sense to me, I will make a curve like that and come off of it. And this time that little cute little leaf I have doesn't have room for a lot, but that's all right. Here's another one. Cut that off a little bit and do another one this direction. I have room for one here. Cut it off. Maybe you'll find you have room for 3 leaves, who can say? I think that is just simple and sweet. So come in a little bit. And make yourself some sort of a little bit of a wave. This time I think I'll take that spiral this direction. And then put my leaves on. Yay, I love it. I have room for another. And I think I'd like to do another off of here. Very forgiving pattern. So please know whatever you decide to do, it's going to be just fine. I don't think I have room for more. So now I'm going to start off with the dot dash. I love that idea, dot dashes. This time, I'm going to do the dots and the dashes in the other direction for interest. Dot dash, dot dash. I just feel like I'd really like to close this in a bit. I'd like that to be off-centered. Dashes, dots, in whatever order you choose, working very lightly. Dot, dot, dash, dot, dot. I hope you like this pattern, and I hope you do it. I hope you make it, is what I mean to say. So I have some eraser marks on here. I'm going to take care of that right now. With my gum eraser, I can just more or less lift them. I don't have to, nope, it looks good to me. A little bit more here. Get rid of a little bit more. There. Now my erasers, it will be in the right spot. All right, so let's get going with shading. We have a ton of shading to do here. Grab your Zentangle pencil or whatever 2B pencil you have. Zentangle pencils are General's pencils and a little bit softer lead. So when I put shading on this, I like to put it in this corner here. Remember, you're working on the side of your pencil, not on the point. So I'm going to work here. I also want to come on the other side and shade there. I really want to shade at the bottom of the top of that rose. So sweet. I love it. And I want to do a little shading here. And that's pretty much the inside of the rose. Let's do that again. Come along here and come along here. Shade here and maybe in the corner here. Don't want these lines to show up much, so I am going to be very careful to get a lot of this off, a lot of this graphite where it might be a delineated line. Lately I have not been enjoying that line so much. So as I believe you remember, I like to get all my shading on first. I want to shade here behind this rose where it is laying on that fun pattern here, laying on the leaves. So I'm going to get all the way around on the outside edge. Now at this point, I'm not going to do the top. I'm going to wait and see how that comes out and how it looks. There. Do it again. It's laying on a leaf, so I definitely want to get shading behind this rose. I want it to have the illusion of being lifted up. My best way to do that is to shade behind it. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do with the rose. The next thing I want to do is I want to shade down the middle of the leaf. I want it to have an illusion of a fold. To get that, I have to put shading on, and I'm also, as you can see, feathering it out just a touch. Down the middle and feather it out on all the leaves. Chances are your blender stump will do a lot of this for you, or your Q-tip, whatever you're using. There, voila, like my granddaughter likes to say. Okay, you might decide to go behind these leaves. I could see how you would. In fact, I think maybe I will right now, especially this one where it's laying on top of the other leaf. I think I'll just do it. Trying to go very tight on here. Nice. Okay, I want to do this next, this very fun pattern. One thing I want to do is write down the seam of each of these seams. You should have 3 or 4 of them, depending on how you did yours. And I want this to have the bit of like a fold as well, which it does. It's paper, but it does. So I'm shading there. I'm going to be shading these. Right now, I just lay the shade on here. The blender stump is going to push it out, so not a worry. You'll see. But because of that, I am going to shade or push a little shading here on either side right now. So it's on the inside of this particular barrel. these barrels. Gives it a whole nother depth, don't you agree? Okay, I'm gonna go to the other end. Do the same thing. Shade. Just lay it on there. Any fashion, any order. I believe you're gonna love the way this looks. Shade in the line. So these definitely have the illusion of going in. Oh, they're so cool the way this is gonna look, I believe. I hope you like it too. I know you will. I have faith. So the places that I'm shading are in that barrel area, the one that's the shaded barrel, not the inked barrel. That's it. Tiny bit there. And I believe that that is all the shading I wanted to do, except maybe a tiny bit of Yolo here. Oh, you can certainly do more if you choose. Alrighty, grab your blender stump. Get a little closer. Start back with your beautiful roses. Push that out into the corners so that your rose petals have the illusion of going. There you go. See what I'm trying to do there? Let's do all the roses first. Push it in. I'm trying not to leave a line of pencil. That's not easy, so you may have to work at it a little bit. Also trying not to get my finger in this. Pushing it up. See how I'm pushing that pencil, or that, yeah, pencil, which is now graphite. Sweet. I love the way this looks. I hope you do too. Oh, I know you do. This is laying on here, so I want it to have that illusion. Let's see if I finished the roses pretty good. Yes. Keeping my hand out of the graphite if I can. Working on the leaves now. Push that graphite. And blend it so that it looks like it's in the paper. What I mean is push it like this, look. Push it so that it goes into the paper, like that. If it's too much, remember you've got that really cool tool. At least I hope you do. If this is too much, grab whatever eraser you have and look how I can get that back under control. I really just want this to have the illusion of being behind the rose and the petals. Sometimes I use a paintbrush for that. Sweet. All right. So we have more shading to do. Now we're going to shade in this area here. I think I finished all these. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So what I want to do here is get these so it's not so delineated, so that it looks like it's part of the paper again. I do want to have that look a little bit dark. Now I'm going to come along here like this, where I put shading, and I am going to go back over this with my pen in a minute. so that it really has that cool illusion. Yeah, cool illusion is right. All right, let's do the other side. This is one that I really feel like I could fuss a lot with. But this is spring, right? So I'm going to grab my pen because I really, really, really want this to be dark and likely the graphite changed it up and, you know, made it muddy. So I want to come back in here with my pen. It makes a huge difference. Got it? Other end too. Nice. Oh, didn't this turn out so nice? I hope you like yours as well as I love mine. Put your initials on here. I will see you again soon for April tile. And I have some great ideas for you for spring and for Easter, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.